Let's open up for any other questions we have. Again, this is the Referral Mastermind call. Love to talk about referrals, how you can get more from your past clients, your sphere of influence, friends and family. Any questions you have, issues you're working with, challenges. Also, as you just saw, if we don't have anything specific on referrals, I'm happy to talk about anything I can do to help you with your business to move forward. And we got about 10 to 15 minutes more here. So if you've got something you'd like to chat about, unmute yourself and bring it up.
I was out of town for a bit, and I'm kind of got a little bit under the weather here, right? So I'm not feeling that great. But so what the hardest thing I find is trying to get someone on the phone, right? So I used to not leave messages, but now I leave a message. And I say, look, I said, I can't get a hold of you, so I'm going to text you my proposition or my website, right? Just so at least you know who it is. So next time I call, maybe you can answer the phone or something like that, right? And I basically say to them, I know this is going to sound weird, right? But I tell them, I said, you know what? In Toronto, it's the worst market for a bubble in all of the world. Right? So it's not really a good time to buy today, but it is a good time to plan to buy for today, right? just to plan for the seed, right? Because I mean, yes, somebody will say, well, no, I would say that the price is going to go down more, the interest is going to go up more, and their interest is going to come down eventually, right? And I know this is like a little bit long term or medium term thinking, right? But the thing is, I'd rather have something in the medium term than the no term, right? You know, and there are going to be people that are saying, well, you know what, I want to do something now. And I said, oh, well, okay, if you want, because now the advantage is you might be locking in a good mortgage before it goes up higher. But, you know, but on the other hand, like in my heart of hearts, right, I know that the price is going down more, right? And I know the rates will go up more too in the short term. But in the long term, we're going to have a recession and they're going to drop them, right? Like, I like, you know what? The last 2 years during COVID, I watch people, like, not watch them in general, but they go crazy, right? Like, first off, they can't go to work, right? So they're worried about their paycheck. And next thing you know, they say, oh, this is an issue. And then all of a sudden they get money from somewhere, the government or the company or whatever. And they say, hey, this is great, man. I'm retired now, right? And then I'll try some sports, right? And then, you know, they're not good at it. They get bored of it. And they say, you know what? I better try and do something to make a little bit of money. I see houses are going up, so I may as well go bid for one. It's only $1 million, right? Not a big deal, right? And then they go out there and they find out they're not the only one, right? And there's like 20 people have the same idea, right? So, and then they bid it up, right? Well, I mean, unfortunately, okay, we have power of sales in Canada, not foreclosure, right? But the difference is foreclosure, when the person walks away, that's the end of it, right? Not for Canada. If you walk away, they come after you for the deficit.
That's
right?
true down here in foreclosure. There are different kinds of foreclosure. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there may still be liability after the foreclosure. Yep.
There is.
They call it a deficiency judgment. Yep.
Yes. Yes.
So let me answer your question though,
sure.
Dave, because you brought up an interesting point, and I think there's a lesson for maybe some clarity that we can have on this.
Okay.
And that's simply this, and that is when you've got you were mentioning that you are prognosticating, right? You're anticipating what you think the market is going to be in the next 6 months, a year, or more. And what I caution you is this: you don't know. I don't know, right? I've been in the market for 3 decades. I've got all these fancy degrees and backgrounds. I love economics. I can theorize with the best of them, right? And I throw my money in the ring, and sometimes I win and sometimes I lose. And that's the lesson, is sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. I don't know where the market's going to go all the time. I'm sure that most of the people who are listening recognize that when the early 2020 hit, 2 years ago, everybody anticipated the market was going to go down and crash. And it started to feel that way. And then, as you just said, something weird happened and it went the other way. and we had this massive appreciation. Well, how would you like to have told somebody back in the first quarter of 2020, don't even think about buying a home. You'll never make any money on this. It's all going in the tank. It's all going to be awful. And then 6 months later, their friend just made $500,000 and they turn to you and go, Dave, why'd you tell me to stay out of the market? So my answer is, you don't know what it's going to be. You can, if you ever say anything like it, you should kind of hedge, number one. Number two, people buy and sell homes for way more reason than making money. All right. And then the investment aspect of a property is not true when you own your own home. Let's say you buy a home for $1 million in your market and it goes up to $2 million. You can't sell it and make your investment back because you still need to live in a home. And so you're going to just have to go buy another $2 million home. How'd you make any profit? You didn't make any profit because your home is different than an investment property. Now, if you had bought a rental property for $1 million and it went up to $2 million, yep, you just made $1 million because you can sell that thing and continue to live wherever you're living. So that's why you got to make sure you're talking to people clearly about this home that they own, and that, yeah, it might have an investment kicker. It might go up or down in value, but really we're buying it because we want to live in it. We want to paint the wall, whatever we want. We want to knock out the wall. We want to have a workshop in our garage or in our basement. We want to have a place for the kids to run around and play. We want to have we want to be next to the great schools for our kids. We want to be next to our church so we can just drive 3 minutes instead of 30 minutes. There's all these reasons why people buy a home to live in that have nothing to do with the investment side of it. So that's why I highly caution you to get out of the mindset that you have to predict. What I always told them is what I just told you. I have all these degrees and all this knowledge. I have no idea whether the market's going to go up, down, or sideways. I have no clue. Every time I guess I'm wrong. The only thing I know is in the long term, real estate goes up. And when I say that, I'm talking 10, 20, 30 years. If you do those long periods of time, it's going to go up because of inflation. But in any given year and short term, I don't know what's going to happen. So if you're a flipper and you got to buy this house and sell it quick and make $1 million, I can't help you with that. You need to go talk to someone else. But if you want to buy this home and own it, boom, I can help you do that. I can help you get a good home, make sure we do inspections, make sure it's a quality property, make sure that everything's going to go well for you. So you know exactly what the numbers are, you know what your monthly payments are, you know when this thing would be paid off. I can help you with that kind of stuff, and I'm going to help you in a great way. But if you want me to get out a crystal ball and to guess what the values are going to be, I can't do that. And I don't think anyone else can either. They're probably lying to you. So don't listen to anybody who has a crystal ball. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. Does that help?
Yeah.
I muted you. I'm sorry, Dave. I muted you a little bit because just the way the video works. What do you think, Tristan?
Let me just sort of add to the dimension of it. I get what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, everything you said. I'm just thinking that so far, and this could change in a month, right? Yeah. There's still no inventory. There's still no inventory, right?
Yeah, that's all about to change.
Now, when there becomes more inventory, then you have more flexibility in choosing a property. You don't have to get this one. If this one, you try and get this one for the best price. And if you can't, get another one. They're coming every day, right?
Right.
So is that a valid concern?
You can talk about you could talk about anything.
Okay.
But definitely they are hiring you to tell them about the market. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. My statement is don't try to predict what the values are going to be. Okay, that's like a stock, that's why they don't like stockbrokers, because the stockbroker comes in, oh, buy this and it's going to double in value in the next week. Oh, really? Then why don't you buy it and tell me how great it went? Okay, so that's why they don't like, sleazy salespeople who are trying to, guess what the market's going to do. Well, the opposite is true too. If you say, oh, this stock is going to fall in half, so you should go ahead and bid against it. And I'm trying to remember, in the derivatives market, you go against it in the derivatives market and you'll make $1 million because I know it's going to fall in half. Really? Okay, why don't you do it and show me how it goes? And in fact, if you know so much, why are you even telling me any of this? Why don't you just go live on an island and keep trading, and you can buy your own island, right? So, but that's how much enthusiasm I bring to that conversation, because I believe this. I believe that I cannot tell them what's going to happen. I've been around too long to know I'm going to be wrong. Okay. And so that's what they need to understand. This is not an investment in that regard. It's a home. It's a place to live. It's a place to raise your family. It's a place to get these kind of qualities. If that's what they're looking for, cool, we can help them. And that means they may want to buy it now. They may want to buy it later. I don't know what's going to happen. Well, when's the bottom going to fall out, Dave? I don't know. I have my theories, but I really don't know. That should be your answer, because that's the truth. I really don't know. I'm just guessing at stuff. Well, you've been through these markets before, haven't you? Yeah, but they're always different. The time they start different, they end different, they go in the middle different. And even if I knew what direction, I don't know how long. I don't know how long it's going to slide or how long it's going to go up. I don't have that kind of crystal ball. So that's why if you do long-term investing, you're typically going to be in a good shape. And if you want to look at your house that way, fine. I can feel pretty confident that over 10, 20, 30 years, the value is going up, because the governments tend to need inflation, because they're not stuck. Their money is not tied to gold anymore. There's no intrinsic value. So they need those interest rates. They need the inflation to continue to move along at some click, so that they can pay back their debt with lower, cheaper dollars than what they took it out at. Okay, but notice, like the Federal Reserve in the U.S., they're trying to peg that at 2%. Okay, just enough that they can pay back with cheaper dollars. They never say 0%. They never say minus 2%, right? Deflationary. I've seen that once in my life, where we deflated in the early 2000s for a year. They went crazy. They hated that. So they're not going to do that. And that affects the value of home in the long run. Right now, we have inflation going crazy. Values of homes should be shooting up because of inflation, but they're not, because of all these other weird dynamics we've had over the last 2 years. That's why I'm saying you can't predict. There's too many facets.
Too many variables.
How about this is a time to at least start monitoring the market?
Absolutely. Well, here's the thing, Dave. Maybe they really want to buy a home right now. Say, great, let me help you buy a home.
Okay.
And then if they ask the question, was it going to go up in value, down in value? Say, I don't know. I have no idea.
Right.
I can show you trends. I can show you charts. I'll show you a chart. I'll show you that we've been going up. Well, what is it going to fall? I don't know. Maybe, but it might go up again. I don't know. Let me tell you about when the first quarter of 2020, right? You can tell them the story because they lived it too. Say, I thought it was all going to go to hell. And here it is. It went up. I don't know. Everybody thinks it's all going to go to hell right now. Will it? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. The question is, do you need this home to do what you want to do? Why do you want this home? Well, I want a swimming pool in the backyard. I know you guys don't have that in Canada, but I want this swimming pool in my backyard for my kids to learn how to swim. I'm a big swimmer and my wife's a swimmer and I want my kids to swim. And this house has a swimming pool. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me. This is why you want to buy this house. Great.
Good.
Right?
Yeah. Well, maybe I should have tried my choice of words a little bit better.
Well, I'm picking on you, Dave, but we all
That's
do
okay.
it. We all do it. That's why I love the topic and we're getting it out there.
Yeah, I liked it. Thank you.
All right, cool. Well, we're going to wrap this up. I hope this call was helpful for everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today.
No problem. Thanks
All
a lot.
right.
Appreciate it.
See you,
Dave,
Tristan.
nice to meet
See you,
Best of
Dave.
luck.
Okay, thank you.
Y'all take care of this. Have a great week.